I got the text late in the afternoon, just as I was pulling on my coat to head over to Ashley's parent house for Thanksgiving. It was from my mom. "Don't come. You'll just embarrass Ashley's fiancé. Just skip it this year." I stared at it, unable to breathe properly for a moment. Embarrass him? Me? My mind scrambled for reasons. Any explanation that would make sense. I loved Ashley. I'd spent months helping plan this dinner, volunteering to bring the side dishes, making sure everything was perfect. And now, I wasn't even allowed to show up. I called her immediately. "Mom, what do you mean? I'm not going to embarrass anyone." There was a pause, and then a quiet, almost reluctant sigh. "You wouldn't understand. Just trust me." But I didn't trust her. And when Ashley picked up her phone minutes later, I could hear the tension in her voice. "Are you serious?" I asked. "Wait, it's complicated." "Maybe this isn't the right time," she said, but her tone was strange, detached, almost rehearsed. I hung up, confused, angry, and a little hurt. In the days leading up to Thanksgiving, the signs were subtle but growing. Ashley didn't return my calls as quickly as usual. She texted me from work, but her messages were short, clipped, always ending abruptly. There were excuses, deadlines, errands, family drama, but something fell off. I tried to brush it off, to tell myself I was just being paranoid, but the unease was gnawing at me, quiet and persistent. When I arrived at Ashley's parents' street, my heart sank. The cars in the driveway weren't mine or hers. They were all shiny, expensive, polished machines that seemed to mock the small, lived-in home I'd grown up with. I parked a few blocks away and watched. Through the front window, I saw her laughing with her fiancé, a man I'd never met in person. He was tall, impeccably dressed, with that kind of smile that made you feel like he belonged everywhere. And I didn't belong anywhere. I should have turned around then. I should have driven away and never looked back. But I stayed. I stood on the sidewalk, letting the cold wind bite at my cheeks, listening to the chatter, the laughter, the soft clinking of silverware and wine glasses. That's when I noticed it. The way Ashley's mom kept glancing toward the door, then back to the table, her lips pressed together as if she were holding in some secret. My mom was quiet too, her posture stiff, her eyes flicking to me and then away, like she was protecting someone else. And in that moment, I realized this wasn't about me embarrassing anyone. It was about someone else feeling threatened, someone else being replaced. The betrayal revealed itself slowly. A text I saw when Ashley stepped away, a message that had been left on the table. "Everything's perfect. Don't let him ruin it. You know what to do." It didn't take long for me to piece it together. My mom, my Ashley, even the family, they had all quietly decided that I wasn't part of this new world she'd built, that I wasn't worthy of being there. Her fiancé, this polished, perfect man, had become the center, and I was suddenly an inconvenient truth. I thought back to the small moments that now stung like fresh wounds. The way Ashley avoided mentioning my accomplishments in front of her friends, the way she smiled at me but seemed distracted, as though someone else held her attention. All those promises about building a life together, they were lies, or at least half-truths. I could have stormed inside, made a scene, demanded explanations. But I didn't. I stayed on the sidewalk, letting the scene unfold without me. I let them talk, laugh, and celebrate, while I let the reality sink in. I didn't need to watch my own humiliation. I had already felt it deep inside. When Ashley finally noticed me through the window, her eyes widened, a flicker of guilt, or maybe surprise, passing across her face. She mouthed my name. I didn't respond. I just nodded once, quietly, letting her understand without words that I saw everything, that I knew. Walking home that evening, the crisp air filling my lungs, I thought about what I had lost, not just a night, but the trust, the love, the life I'd imagined. And yet, amidst the heartbreak, a strange clarity settled over me. I realized I didn't need their approval, their acceptance, or their celebrations to define my worth. I had my own life, my own integrity, and my own dignity to hold on to. In the weeks that followed, there were explanations, half-hearted apologies, excuses that tried to rewrite history. But I didn't respond. I let the messages go unread. I didn't need to hear their justifications. The truth had already spoken, and it hurt more than any words could. The most painful lesson was understanding that sometimes love isn't enough to keep someone by your side, that loyalty can be ignored, sacrifices unnoticed, and that people you thought you knew might choose convenience, wealth, or image over honesty and connection. And while I grieved, I also learned the value of self-respect, the quiet, unshakable kind that doesn't rely on anyone else's validation. A month later, I found myself in the kitchen, making a small dinner for myself. The smells of roasted turkey and cinnamon filled the apartment, comforting in a way I hadn't realized I needed. I raised a glass of wine to the empty chair across from me, to the life I was slowly rebuilding, to the strength I discovered in letting go. I still think about Ashley sometimes, about what could have been, but the bitterness has faded into something steadier, a recognition that I survived, that I chose myself when others refused to see me. I learned that my place in the world doesn't have to be sanctioned by anyone else, that my value isn't determined by someone else's idea of perfection. And most importantly, I learned that some doors close not to trap you, but to guide you toward the life you deserve. A life where I am seen, respected, and finally, free.